University of South Africa's flagship program, the Founders Lecture, took place at the university's main campus in Pretoria, South Africa. This year, the Principal and Vice-Chancellor, Professor Puleng Linkabula, welcomed the first woman president on the Africa continent, Nobel laureate and economist, Her Excellency, President Dr. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, as guest speaker.
Africa has contributed to the world mathematics and trigonometry. Africa has contributed to the world the traffic light. Africa has contributed to the world a breakthrough heart transplant surgery, the first ever performed right here in South Africa, a breakthrough in cardiology.
Take a closer look, you'll realize that we have adopted a 150 years celebrations theme for the Founders Lecture, just as the way to return to the meaning of this historic milestone in the life of our university, the higher education sector, in the country, in the continent, and in the global arena. For UNISA and South Africa shared this model with the global arena, demonstrating the imperative of Africa's civilizations, intellectual systems that our program director was starting to whet our appetite on to become important centers of our curriculum, of our research, of our engaged scholarship, as it is of our continued pursuit for wisdom and knowledge, and to ensuring that it doesn't just become rhetorical, as you are saying, but it finds expression in the practice and praxis of our societies in any sector that such is required. I want to express my gratitude that this year, we are not just celebrating 150 years of our university existence. We are truly honored, Madam President, that this year when we are celebrating 20 years of the Founders Lecture, we couldn't have been more proud and fortunate to have you as the keynote. I think, colleagues, we need to celebrate that.
In claiming Africa's intellectual futures, we are called to foster a vibrant and inclusive intellectual ecosystem, one that celebrates diversity, amplifies the voices of emerging scholars, and empowers the next generation of intellectual trailblazers. This call for nurturing our environment that cultivates innovation, creativity, and critical thinking, thereby positioning Africa as a wellspring of dynamic intellectual discourse with global resonance. Africa institutions, such as the Center for African Studies at the University of Cape Town, have begun to intervene actively, including programs like New Africa Thinkers. They aim to underscore and celebrate African intellectual contributions. These initiatives underscore the importance of indigenous knowledge systems and their essentiality in reclaiming Africa's intellectual futures.
One of the aspects that really excited me about her lecture was really the invitation of looking at education as a pathway and an asset that spawns and allows the global community, especially the global South, to shaping its own futures, to transforming Western hegemony that has oftentimes imposed itself on us but not allowed us in the global South to change, to determine the trajectories of development that we want. I think this is quite important at this point when we're discussing the transformations or reforms of the economic architectures or financial architectures of the global north and the global south, where we are trying to say what is the voice, participation, ideas that Africa, for instance, bring into the global arena, but also how do we optimize the youthful dividend that Africa has in ways that wars, genocides, pandemics, and other debilitating aspects of our social organization.